Well, as you can see, we're getting ready to eat. Today we're going to be talking about another dry heat cooking method, grilling. And grilling is what happens when the flame comes up from the bottom and comes in direct contact with the food. Today we're going to be grilling a couple of steaks, and then we're going to go inside and talk about broiling, which is the opposite of this. The flame is directly on top of the food we're cooking. What we're going to do is make some au gratin potatoes. So I'm going to put these on here, and then we're going to go inside. I'm going to put them on at an angle so that we get those nice little marks. And as you can see, the only thing keeping them out of the fire is this grate. I did turn the grill on a while ago so that it would be hot when it was ready to go. Just like a saute pan, you don't want a cold grill, you don't want a cold saute pan. As far as time goes with these, since we're here, every grill is going to be a little bit different. Every cut of meat is a little bit different. But in general, for a medium piece of meat that is about an inch thick, you want it to go for about 4 minutes on each side. But that is a very general rule. All right? So, let's stop doing this and let's go inside and take a look at the broiler. You can see I have my assistant Abner here who's going to help me with the broiler. He tried to help me with the grill, but he's mostly in the way. If I could get this camera down underneath here, if you look up under here, you see the fire is on the top of the oven. And I'm going to take our potatoes au gratin here, which I've been cooking earlier, and I'm going to put them under there. The cheese is going to bubble up and brown. All right, Abner, did you see that? Are you ready? You a good boy? Are you a good boy? Can you sit? That's a good boy. Yes, Abner's a good boy. Are you? Come on, let's go out and take a look at the steaks. Okay, so these have been on about 1.5 minutes or so, just enough time for us to go in there, film that, kind of come back out here. Remember how we wanted our meat to be loose in the pan and come up? You can see some of the steak is coming up, but not all of it wants to come up. So I'm going to let that cook just a little bit longer, and then we're going to go, and you can leave it on this time. We're going to go in and take a look at the broiler. Come on. Pull this out. You can see the cheese is starting to bubble and even brown a little bit there. We're going to let this go just a little bit more. The broiler is going to cook from the top down. Well, I already said that, top down. Never mind. You know this, old hat. I do need to get another spoon for the sauce because the other one got hot. I pre-made a little bit of mushroom sauce to go with the steaks today too. It's just sauteed shallots with mushrooms, a little bit of fresh thyme, and some demi-glace, which is, as you know, veal stock, and Espanol reduced. We'll let that go. We'll let those potatoes go. They're making me a little bit nervous. Come on, let's see if we can get those steaks off the grill. Up, up. Nothing. All right. So, I'm going to take this. See, I got those nice marks. Turn it around. It's coming up off nicely. I got nice marks. Turn it around. Remember I said for a medium steak about 4 minutes or so on each side. We're going to let this go for a little bit. We'll come back to it when it's time to flip it off. Or flip it off. How you like me now? Flip it over. Okay, we good? All right, so we're going to come back. I'm going to turn the broiler off because I could see that our cheese has turned brown. This actually, all of this is working pretty quickly. You can see that our cheese has browned up nicely. And we're going to let that rest for a little bit, just like we let everything rest. Now, with the steaks, next week when we do roasting and baking, I'm going to talk to you about internal temperatures of meats when they're done. With a roast, it's easier to get a thermometer in there so that you can find out the temperature. You saw how thick those steaks are. They're not very thick. It's hard to get a thermometer in through the meat, so that you need to come with me instead of telling me where to go. It's hard to get a thermometer in there. So do you remember when we did this, right? Rare, medium, medium well, well done. That's what's going to work better for these steaks than either the time or trying to get a thermometer into them. All right, so I'm going to flip them over. These will go for another couple of minutes this way, and then we'll flip them back. Get him.
What you doing?
Yeah, licking the tongs. That's what he's been doing. How you doing? So as you can see, we're back to the... There's Abner's buddy, Kona.
Hi, Kona.
As you can see, our steaks are about done. I'm going to give them one last flip to the side before we pull them off. I'm going to give them a check the temperature. They feel like they're about done. I'm going to let that turn off.
Keep mine on there.
What Tracy told me to tell you that I forgot to tell you was that just like we put oil in a saute pan, I oiled the grill before we started. Alternatively, if you don't want to oil the grill, you can put a little bit of oil on the steaks before you put the salt and pepper on. That'll help it to not stick and make it nice, really get some good color on there. So I'm going to let that sit down there for about 30 seconds or so, just so this can be really awkward. Well, it's less awkward if you just show the dog.
Abner, what's he doing? Can you say hi? Yeah, there you go.
Chuff, chuff.
He's chuffing
All
at
right,
you guys.
well, there. How about that? So we're going to take these off. And like any other protein, you're going to hear this again. We need to let this rest. You heard it before. You're hearing it again. I put it on a grate over top of a piece of aluminum foil on the pan because I don't want to clean the pan. And what's going to happen as this rests is the juice is going to redistribute. Many of you I know have cut open a steak on a cookout with your family or a picnic or something, and all the red juice runs out all over your plate, turns your potato salad pink. And of course your Aunt Martha screams, "Oh my God, look at all the blood." You know it's not blood. Remember the video we saw in January? The very first thing they did to old Bessie was stick her and bleed her. The blood goes bad very fast. All that is water. It's picked up some red tint from the muscle, which is what we're eating, muscle, but it isn't blood. So come on in and we'll take a look at both of these things finished up. So we have our steaks that are resting. We've got a little bit of mushroom sauce here. We got some au gratin potatoes. I have some broccoli in the microwave. The microwave. And it really is that quick. This isn't a very slow process. It's for small, tender products that cook quickly. You can broil steaks underneath the broiler if you want. If you're wondering where that broiler is in our classroom, the two stoves are here, and in the middle piece where everybody puts all their junk but doesn't clean it up, there's that little thing that slides out. That's called a salamander. The salt and peppers are on top of it. That salamander is also the broiler. Some people call it a salamander. I call it a broiler. Dry cooking technique, grilling and broiling, small, tender products that cook quickly, either direct flame from the top or direct flame from the bottom.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were telling me you need to go back to give it a try. We'll see it again, because I thought you were telling me to turn it off. So say give it a try again. When I do 3, 2, 1, you say give it a try, okay?
Okay.
3, 2, oops. You're going to have a couple cuts on this one.
Yeah, they're going to be.
Well, just turning it off and on, you're going to have to...
Well, yeah, but I can put transitions between them.